Immediately when Apex released back in February of 2019, people started data mining the game and finding future legends, guns, and modes in the files which would never ever come. So let's take a look at Apex and see what it could have been if Respawn didn't scrap these ideas. Because I do have Season 1 of Apex on my computer, I decided to data mine it and see what data miners would have saw back in the day, and it gets crazy. If we start off by checking the user interface of the Season 1 build of Apex, we can immediately see there's a load of character icons for legends that just never released. Like this guy right here. Weirdly enough, this guy was actually meant to be Rampart, and had a selection of leaked abilities which are so close to Rampart's abilities, yet so far away. He had a turret called a Maxim gun, which is a real gun, so instead of Sheila, I guess the gun was called Maxim. He had the amped cover, which seemed to function differently to our amped cover because it would provide a damage boost to the people standing around it, and his melee was a wrench that was used to repair his turret and shields, which would later become Rampart's actual heirloom. When we look a bit further into the files, there were a lot of icons for legends that never released, and some people back in the day actually made a little predicted lineup of when these legends would release, and it was kind of accurate. They did almost get the order saying Crypto's gonna come and then Watson, but then it kind of got lost a bit after that. Within this predicted legend lineup, there was also a legend called Jericho that was data mined from the game, and this legend's very, very interesting because we actually have them in the game right now, but not in the form we would expect. When they were data mined, they looked like this. It was just a person with a hood and what seemed to be a sniper on their back. A really cool design, but they never actually came to the game. Fast forward 15 seasons, Vantage releases, and then fast forward a few more seasons, an ex-Respawn developer releases the full concept art of this cancelled character all the way back from Season 1. And it turns out, this character was actually meant to have a sniper that could fold up into pieces and be used as one of their ultimate abilities, meaning Vantage was concepted and in the files from Season 1, just in a wildly different form, because these two are not the same people, although their abilities were, because, as you can see, Vantage's sniper is a fold-up and break-up sniper. It's honestly really interesting how Respawn can go back and use an idea they had 5 years ago at the birth of Apex. This isn't actually the only case of this happening as well. Back when Revenant first had his abilities leaked, he was going to have an ability called Shadow Door, where he could put a door on a wall and simply walk through it, which, once again, many seasons later would be reused for Alter. You know, she puts a door in a wall and then can walk through walls. It's just a reused ability. So that makes me think, what if some of the abilities that were leaked years ago are still yet to come to the game? Maybe it could even be Jericho's leaked abilities, which were all based around a ballistic shield. The abilities for the ballistic shield were it would protect your back when you're not using it because you holster it on your back, but when you wanted to pull it out, you could use it to protect yourself from incoming fire. And it seems his ultimate would be a shield breaker javelin, which are electrically charged javelins that burn through enemies' body shields. So basically a shield breaker. Although I don't think these set of abilities would ever come to the game because it just doesn't match what Apex is nowadays. Maybe it matched the vision for Apex 5 years ago, but certainly not now. And that's why it makes it so interesting to look at what Apex originally had planned for their future. Speaking of what Apex originally had planned, it also seems like they did plan to release loads of explosive guns into the game at one point, but scrapped them for one reason or another. Once again, these explosive guns were data mined really early into Apex's life cycle and showed what could have become of Apex. They were planning to release the EPG, which was in the files, and a few people have managed to port into the game. And you may say this is leftover from Titanfall 2, but it's not, because we also saw Respawn accidentally show it again during the Season 5 Battle Pass. There it is in that dummy's hands, so they were testing the EPG up until potentially Season 5. They also seemingly planned to release the Arch from Titanfall 2. It was also leaked that they were testing the charge rifle to be released into Apex, which it was in Season 3. They were testing to release the softball, the car SMG, which once again was later released, and the Volt SMG, which once again was later released. So it seems Respawn just completely scrapped the explosive ammo category of weapons. Fun fact, by the way, the explosive ammo icon was in Apex's files up until around Season 9, if I recall correctly. But honestly, considering the fact that Respawn were testing these from Season 1 to 5 and we're currently in Season 21 and still don't have them, I think Respawn have made their minds up about explosive weapons. No, they're not coming. One thing that was consistently leaked when Apex first came out was the fact that Respawn were planning to put Titans, wall running, and jump kits into the game. If you're not aware, jump kits are the things that allow you to do double jumps in Titanfall 2. And honestly, 99% of these leaks were just people looking through leftover code from Titanfall 2 that was still in Apex Legends, because if you're not aware, Apex Legends is literally built off Titanfall 2. If you look in the files to this day, there's still so much leftover stuff from Titanfall 2, anybody data mining it for the first time would think Respawn are planning a Titanfall season. Although I do say that, but we know Respawn were testing out Titan related abilities back in Season 9, and also they tested a wall running ability on Revenant Reborn before they scrapped that, and they also tested out wall running sections on the next map until they scrapped that as well. So it seems wall running Titans have been tested fully in Apex, and the devs once again aren't very happy with it. They don't want it in the game. Because I did a lot of looking back at old Season 1 leaks for this video, I noticed this leak getting brought up a lot. Somebody found this in the files, which shows Respawn were planning a 12-man mode. But when I look at it from the perspective we have today, I think the QA meant quality assurance, and 12-man mode meant you only have to have 12 people to fill a lobby of Kings Canyon, so the QA team can test the game without gathering up 60 people. Still, really fun to look back at this part of Apex's history, and I wonder what Respawn were planning with the recruit mode. Maybe it's something similar to the orientation matches we have these days, where you play your first few games ever of Apex against real bots now. I mean actual bots, like computers. If you're not aware, Apex's relationship with leaks has been a crazy one, because Apex was actually leaked a whole year before it came out, and people didn't believe the leak was real. This leak was actually posted to the r/Titanfall subreddit, just with the caption, "Alleged minimap for rumored Titanfall Battle Royale game." And the comments are absolute gold. People were just like, nah, there'll never be a Titanfall Battle Royale. This is not happening, and just denying it. But lo and behold, less than a year after this post was made, Apex Legends would be born. Also, one of my favorite leaks, just because of how absurd it was, is the way Octane got leaked. It got leaked by somebody literally taking a picture of a Respawn employee's computer when they were editing the promo art for Season 1. Honestly, it's really cool to look at behind the scenes of all this iconic art getting made though. And by the way, the early version of Octane looks really crazy. If we zoom into some of the stuff we data mined from the Season 1 build of Apex, that is Octane's icon before it was fully finished. That dude looks really crazy. Although it's really sad some really cool designs went to waste. This was Loba's original design. She definitely looks very interesting, and I'm not sure if you prefer the modern version of Loba or the version of her hair where she was called Rosie. Or you might even prefer the old version of Crypto where he had dreads. Honestly though, I could sit and look at the low poly designs of Legends in development forever. Crypto's the only one that looks really cool. The rest look like they're kind of from a nightmare, like the old version of Octane where his nose was out for some reason, the old version of Watson, and the weird two red and blue guys that were present in the files in Season 1. We still don't know what these guys were, why they got removed, or if they ever had any use. There's one more thing I should mention though. We do know that Apex was built off the original plans for Titanfall 3, and this does show in the Season 1 build of Apex, because if we look right here, this is a pilot icon for Gibraltar with a pilot helmet, meaning Gibraltar was going to be the heavy class of pilot in Titanfall 3 before he was turned into a legend. Apex's history is pretty cool, and I hope we learn more of the Titanfall 3 history aspect as we go on. But what's your favourite scraps legend out of these? And maybe subscribe.